Today is Monday the 7th of December. Start of my second week working in my new job. And thought I'd try and do something a bit more regular than 3 months this time. So today, you know what? I really don't like being in my own thoughts. Something that I've come to realise. Just think too much. At least when I'm all go, at least I'm acting and I don't feel like I'm wasting time, but I've got nothing else to do but think. It's not healthy. Not right now. So these are my thoughts. That's what I'm working out. I tried giving Mum a ring, but it just rang out because sometimes I just find she can be a voice of reason more often than not. So, but whatever. I'll give her another ring later. Right. So today, I was just operating an excavator, really, really small excavator, like tiny little thing today in my new job, working for that guy, Justin Slade. Really good guy. I'm actually enjoying the work. But I spent about probably 8 or 9 hours in the sun. Well, yeah, it's an open cab, so sitting in the sun. Hence you can see my tan lines or burn lines. And I just kind of got thinking about my entire situation, and that currently we're servicing a mortgage and rent. So for us to be able to buy a property, okay, I'll go back further. So back in March, when the virus first hit, we started making a heap of inquiries to banks because we had a lot of people pull out of investing in the business because of the virus. Obviously, I understand that. So we thought, well, what's the next thing? And we'd already committed to a few people, so we're in, we can't back out. So the next thing was to inquire to banks. So we inquired to banks because we made the inquiries. Banks weren't interested in dealing with us because the business was a piece of paper and a concept. That's it, nothing else. So we got a really bad credit score because we made so many inquiries so quickly, and banks don't want to lend to us despite the ability to be able to service loan, despite having a great deposit to be able to put down. Banks don't want to talk to us until probably March or April. The issue with that, and the reason we want to buy so soon, is that responsible lending laws go out the window at some point around March, April. There's nothing confirmed, but it's more or less inevitable, which will drive up house prices because more people will be able to buy. And currently in Kalgoorlie, there's already a 0.5% vacancy rate in rentals, which means the next thing to happen is for property to go, which is already happening. So property's moving so fast right now, I can't even be bothered explaining it. It is ridiculous how fast property is moving. So we're wanting to buy. For us to be able to do that, though, what we're going to do is, from the sale of our property, take the open a term deposit and match the mortgage we currently have. So I'm not actually stopping our mortgage, right? So we're going to take the term deposit from our we're going to open a term deposit equal to the amount of money that we owe on the mortgage, which will be the security for the loan, and we'll mortgage that loan, the term deposit as the asset to the loan, right? And then when we buy a property, then we'll transfer the essentially zero that term deposit, and then the bank will associate the new the loan with the new property, and we'll pay the difference in the cash. So, which is going to come from the proceeds of the sale of our current place. So that's a thing. So that should be happening in the next couple days. Well, not all of that, sorry. The house should settle in the next few days. So that's a thing. So now we're just trying to find a property that kind of suits us. But the thing we're finding hard to deal with. Well, we're finding hard to work out is exactly how much we should spend and where we should buy and everything else, so either I just had an ant bite my ass. Jesus Christ. Oh, prick. Oh, that's not nice. Anyway, I'm gonna go for a walk now. So either we buy in a shit spot, we buy an average place in a shit spot and have a heap of money left over. We buy a shit house in a good spot and have a little bit of money left over, or we buy a good house in a good spot and have nearly no money left over. The issue is the business isn't profitable enough yet for us to be able to draw a wage from it. Currently, our cost of living is $1,000 more each week than it was before we started the business. And we were saving money. We're saving about $500 a week at that point. So when we started the business 2 months ago, we had $13,500 in the bank. And now we have about $5,000. No, less, just under $5,000. So we've spent a lot of money, and it's just our cost of living is huge because we're servicing our mortgage still. Now we're renting, and childcare is costing us about $800 a week, which is way more than we were anticipating. A lot of the people we'd spoken with and everything kept coming back at around $500-600 a week, which would put us in a little bit of a deficit, but enough for us to be able to service until the business took off. At $850 a week, there's no way that we can sustain that. So either we have to start drawing a wage from the business, or this is while I'm working full time, or we put the kids in childcare. But I mean, and that's the hard part. We're still going like, well, I mean, our eldest daughter's going to have a great time. I think would have a great time. No doubt she'd make a lot of friends and stuff. I'm assuming. I don't know about Tilly. Like, what I hear about daycares is that just like there's not enough adults to be able to meet the needs of all the kids properly. Like, I think that's my concern. Our youngest daughter, I don't think that she would actually have her needs met properly. I think our eldest would be fine. But then the whole thing is like, we'd barely see them because we're up at 3:30. So, I don't know. There's a lot going on. And then just getting people to do their fucking jobs, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, it's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing. Anyway, and so the thoughts that go around in my head as well is, like, you compare yourself to... we've got friends of ours that are about to go buy like a $600,000 property, right? Or, $560,000. There's $40,000 is a lot of difference. And they are our age, and we're kind of going like, here we are looking at spending, 250 at most, absolute limit, $300,000 on a property. They're spending twice as much on it, and we're like, so it's just that sort of shit kind of like weighs on your mind a little bit as well. You kind of feel like you're fucking up a little bit, and because they're our mates, we speak with them, and they've got assets here, so they've got currently they've got 2 properties. They'll sell one to buy the other, and it's just like, I don't know, like they're kicking goals and everything else, and kind of feel like we've had to learn all this sort of shit from scratch. But then, again, we've pumped everything into the business too, which is great. But we've put nearly $50,000 into the business ourselves. So whatever. And just trying to get shit done. Half the girls don't have their tax file number, so we've got all this money sitting there waiting. So we don't actually know how much the business. Well, I mean, I could go ahead and calculate it all, but it's a matter of time, so I'm at work for 11 hours a day at the moment, working 5 days a week. So that's that. And then I'm working the weekends in the shop, so I'm up at 3:30 then. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, anyway, the thoughts that were around in my head was whether I, just judging by my actions, asking myself whether I actually do think that I deserve a life that I'm trying to create. If I'm going to be bluntly honest with myself, like that's the sort of questions I'm asking and going, well, or do I feel like I am forever going to be flogging myself? Like, I don't want to keep putting my body on the line. That's the thing, is like always sacrifice health for more money. And I feel like this is the scary thing, is that if this business falls over, I don't know what the tools are to be able to create money. Like, I don't have a trade, I don't have a profession. Like, I've earned a lot of small skills that have kind of culminated in this at the moment, but then translating that into something that's profitable, and actually profitable enough for us to be able to build a life from and everything else, that's a completely different story. So yeah, those are the sort of things it's just been on my mind a lot. And then just trying to fighting with Beck about what sort of house we should buy. And the shit part is I just go like, in the end I just go, fuck it, it's too hard. And with all the other shit that's going on, I'm just like, I don't care, buy whatever you want. Let's just like, she obviously wants to spend shitloads more than I do. But the thing is, I feel like she's not going to be happy unless she does have the house that she wants. But if we get the house that she wants now, we're screwed. Like, we're spending all our deposit and then we don't have a financial fallback. We don't have the money to be able to put in the business. Like, we're boxed into a corner. And I'm sick of being in that position. That's the truth. I'm sick of being in that position. I don't want to be in that position anymore. I'm sick of working 7 days a week. I'm sick of getting 4 hours sleep. I'm sick of all that sort of shit. I just want to fucking... And then I even ask myself, why? Like, why am I doing this? Honestly, like, what's the point in it all? Like, why? What is my motivator? Honestly, because if it's for my kids, I'm probably honestly better off just going and getting a job that pays... I could go to a job that pays 150 grand a year. I could go and do that, and that would take me probably like a month, honestly, not even. That I'm earning really good money. We can save some coin, buy whatever the fuck house my wife wants to buy, and I'll get to see my kids and shit like that. But then I just go like, well, what example does that set? Like, you just become a fucking slave again for everyone else. Like, but then it's a matter of learning the tools to be able to actually set you up properly and shit. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Sorry it took 13 minutes to get the good shit out. See you guys in tomorrow. See ya.